I've ordained men into the ministry. Christians that say they've gotten saved now come to church 1 or 2 times and you never see them again. They seem to be good. They seem to be religious. But outside the walls of the church, they yap. And everything they say is vain. James ends it with this. Go ahead, Sister Sandy. Pure religion and undefiled before God and the Father is this. Listen to what James says. To visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world. Now, my pastor is with the Lord, and I loved him, and I learned a lot under that man of God. Some things he taught me, some he didn't have to. To visit the fatherless and the widows, and to keep himself unspotted from the world. That's a man who will visit people who are hurting, people who, especially children. See, back in the day, believe it or not, pastors had a strong pull in the household. If a husband died, the pastor would step in and help correct some of the children sometimes. The mother would bring the children to the pastor and say, Pastor, I'm having a hard time with my son and daughter. Can you have a talk with him? And he would sit down and say, Children, sit down, let me talk to you. And sometimes pastors had the authority from the parent to correct that child. And that's what James is talking about. You see, in biblical times, sometimes the father would be killed or something would happen. Somebody had to step in to help that mom. See, our government got it wrong. You don't remove the husband out of the home. It's his job to be the husband. And the mom cannot raise that baby by herself. So the pastor would step up to visit the fatherless and those widows. And I remember that. When my dad died, the Army stepped up. The United States Army stepped up, and they stayed in contact with my mother for well over a year. Miss Roach, is there anything that you need? Any food? Are you and your children okay? They don't do that anymore. And we always had food because if Mama couldn't afford it, she could pick up the phone and the United States Army, my father's command, would bring it to our house. Then my uncle moved from California. Oh my word. And he was an ex-Marine. I thought when Daddy died, he was a drill sergeant, he was a Marine and an Army, and then he died, I thought I'm okay. Then my uncle moves. And Bubba, you talking about a man that did not play? He'd put a kid's favorite. And I love my uncle, love him with all my heart. But see, to visit the fatherless, you are to visit those people and to help that widow in her need. And then he said, keep yourself unspotted from the world. Well, let me tell, this goes out on the airwaves. Well, let me tell a lot of pastors what that means. You don't fool around with your sheep. Because her husband's gone, it stops at helping with the kids. It don't continue into other parts of the house. Do you understand what I'm saying, folks? In other words, keep yourself unspotted. Keep yourself pure. Keep yourself right. Don't give the devil an excuse to put your name in the street. Let me put it plainer. You're a lady in this church. You call me on the phone. You say, Pastor Ron, can you come by? I need to talk with you. Pastor Ron ain't coming unless she comes. The only woman in this church that I've been in her house without my wife that I know of has been my girlfriend sitting on the end right there. Miss Ethel. That's my girl right there. Yeah. That's my wife and that's my girlfriend. And y'all know what I'm saying, amen? I've done plumbing for Miss Ethel. I've helped Miss Ethel. Have I not, Miss Ethel? That's the only woman I've ever been in her house. Me and her. Me and my son or somebody, but I'm her. And she's like a mother to me. I've known her. She knew my mom. We've been family for years. But a young woman would ask me to come to her house. You ain't got to worry about me coming unless comes with me. I'm not giving the devil a foothold. I'm not giving him place. Why? Because it's proper, and James said, keep unspotted from the world. Keep it right. Amen. Amen. That's what he's talking about. Because, see, what will happen? What would happen if I went to see Miss Irene? And somebody from the church, it could have been very innocent. And I walk out, what will happen? Somebody from the church sees that. Here it goes. That tongue, we've been talking about the tongue for 3 weeks. Here it goes. I saw Pastor Ron come out of Miss Irene's house. Yes, I did. I wonder what they were doing. Then it gets to somebody else. I bet you I can tell you what they were doing. That tongue, that's what the Bible's talking about. That's exactly what we've been talking about. Stay away from talk and idle gossip. Stay away from backbiting where it's on your job, kids, where it's in school, where it's in the grocery store, where somebody's cut you off. We as Christians need to pray ye one for another. Pray for one another. That we overcome these things that are hindering us. I love you, church. Man, thank you for letting me. You don't know how hard this message 3 weeks been for me to preach that, because I don't want nobody getting the wrong idea about. Listen, nobody has said nothing to me about nobody talking, y'all talking. I'm not picking on nobody. We as a church need to grow, and we need to hear these things. Amen. We need to hear these things. Father God, thank you for the Word of God. This tongue message, apply it to me first. Let these scriptures get in my heart. That, Lord, if I ever even thought of saying anything, or trying to get smart with somebody, or cut somebody down, or argue with somebody about cut me in line at Walmart, help me, Lord, not to do that. I don't want to do that. I want to be peaceable and loving and kind, long-suffering and merciful. That's how I want to be. I want Jesus to have all of me, and I have all of him. That's what I want for me. And I hope that this little congregation will want the same in their life. All of Jesus. All of Jesus. If we have all of Jesus, there's no room for anything else. Thank you, Lord. Would you stand with me, bow your head, and close your eyes?